When I realized that lust was a waste of time, I was shocked with actually what I became aware of in my life. So, when I became aware that the aspect of lust and how it feeds into our identity as men, needing to be strong, needing to be attractive, needing to be good looking, needing to be a certain way to attract someone, man, it's so freeing when you let go of all of that stuff and you just be present in the moment, just being. And the whole paradox of that is that you actually see that all those belief systems that that I've adopted, that we have adopted from society around dating, around needing to be a certain way to attract a woman or a man, whatever it is for you, like all of those things are limitations and it's fear. And the lust component of when you let go of watching porn and let go of the importance of that stuff, you start to awaken to the true you of you just being in your presence is enough, just being you. And that's when I realized that, oh my God, like lust is such a waste of time. And if you actually feed into it too much, it can bring you away from yourself to the point where you develop addictions and you can find yourself in some pretty crazy places. But then again, if that's your life path and you're meant to learn that, then that's perfect as well. But you don't need to judge yourself either. But what I'm saying is that through my experience, I came out the other side and I was like, just being present and being yourself is everything. And it's not about trying to become something or improve yourself, improve your looks, improve, none of that. It's all a waste of time. It's about accepting yourself as you are and realizing that the life that you're living in your reality reflects that acceptance, because when you accept yourself as you are, you're present and you're aligning to the love within of your soul. And that's what's reflected out in your life. And there's a saying, to find your soulmates, find your soul, mate. And the irony is that you don't even need a soulmate or need someone because you have yourself. And, I'm very, very well aware that all I can do is make these videos to share my experience, but everyone's journey is unique and different. If you're meant to have certain experiences with women or people or whatever it is, then you're going to have those experiences. But for me, the most freeing thing was having the ego death of realizing that it doesn't matter how you look. It doesn't matter how confident you are to people or seen as confident. All these things that people base attraction on, you can waste your entire life trying to chase these things, money, success, prestige, attraction, needing to look a certain way to attract someone. This is all, in my opinion, under the big umbrella of lust, because it feeds into our ego that believes that we need to seek something outside of us to feel whole and complete, which is always the mantra of the ego, right? It's always to seek something and from outside of you, but never be fulfilled. So by definition, it can't be fulfilled. This is why when you get the new car, the new home, the new property, the new person, the new tattoo, whatever it is, it's always going to be something else external outside of you that will never fulfill you. But in saying that, the difference is when you genuinely want to do something, like genuinely want to go do something, then that's cool too. But what I'm saying is that when you live in the ego and you are identified with seeking things outside of you, and then you throw the lust component in there that feeds into sexual attraction, needing to be attractive, needing to be looking a certain way, needing to be seen as confident, needing to be seen as in charge or on top, all of these bullshit beliefs is what keeps people stuck. But also, if you're going through that, that's perfect for you as well, because I went through that. I went through years of, learning game and learning to be confident and learning to be a certain way to attract a woman, how to approach, what to do, what not to do. And it's just like, then you get to a certain age where you're like, everything that you learned was now an inhibition to the love within yourself and therefore love with others. So all I could do then was, I realized that authentically, just on my journey, the more I was present enjoying the things I love in life, staying true to myself, enjoying the present moment, going to the beach, going for walks, doing things I enjoy for me. That's when I had the biggest shifts. That's when I had the biggest shifts in awareness, and I was like, I couldn't put it into words, you know, how freeing that is to realize that you don't need to be anything than yourself for anything or anyone, because you don't need anyone. You're open to life. You're not like, oh, I don't need you, or I don't want you. It's not that. It's just, that's blocked off. That's still fear. That's the other spectrum of fear. But what I'm saying is, like, you're open to life. You're open to people. And that's unconditional love. And we are all unconditional love. But it really starts with removing the conditions that we have on ourselves and just becoming aware of what they are. Because people think, based on the stuff that we watch when we're younger, like Corn and, you know, dating advice and all these things, and it's no one's fault. You know, it's all perfectly orchestrated by the universe, by our soul, by your soul, to experience the awakening of your true self. Because how would you know who you truly are beyond your physical form if you didn't go through the lessons of being identified with what is not you? There's no way. Or some people refer to that as duality, right? But when you are present in your life more and more, you open yourself to surrender to the peace and love of who you are and wholeness and complete, you just being you now in the present moment. And that's when you can see the duality aspect in your life. And it's individual for everyone. You know, for me, I could see that my ego identified with needing to look a certain way, be a certain way, to the point where, you know, if I wasn't perfect in an interaction, I would just beat myself up. And then I eventually learned through just being present and enjoying my own energy and enjoying my own frequency and life and doing what I enjoy. And I was also grateful to have amazing friends that came into my life and amazing experiences. I realized that, holy crap, like, we are literally already it. We are already what we seek. But when you identify with the ego, it brings you out of that. And if you identify with that momentarily, that's fine, because it's a process, you know. We're not going to be like, you know, I mean, this can happen, but this wasn't the case for me. Like, I didn't have just one experience where I was like, I'm enlightened. I had a few experiences like that. But in those experiences, I realized that it's a natural phenomenon for our ego to circulate and for the fear-based energy to circulate and come around. So we might feel at peace and identified with our true self, beyond lust, beyond needing to be a certain way. And then you shift into peace, which is out of that. But I understand also, so it comes in cycles, that's what I'm trying to say. But moving on, what I wanted to say too is that the greatest illusion that our ego has us convinced of is that we need to fulfill all these conditions to have what we love, or experience what we love with someone or with a person or whatnot. You know, for example, I was the same when I saw, you know, an attractive woman or whatever. Immediately all my conditioning and belief systems will come up, or I need to act a certain way, I need to be masculine, I need to look a certain way. No, that's not right. I mean, it's not right or wrong, because everything's perfect in each given moment. But what I'm saying is once I became aware of all those tensions and fears and things, performative tendencies, I was like, that's what I need to let go of. And that's when I realized the freedom of being open, being free, being yourself. And that's what it all comes down to, being yourself. And you know, that's why I actually like talking about this topic of lust and Corn, and because it goes deeper, guys. It goes deeper into, you know, the programming that comes with watching that stuff over time, since when you're young, but also just our conditioning in general, of needing to be a certain way to attract someone, what you love in life or whatever. But I'll end it with this note, because again, you don't need to fulfill any conditions to have anything you love in life. You're already it. You're already your soul, which is everything. So when you surrender into your soul by being present, just enjoying what comes naturally to you, enjoying your life, your reality reflects that. But when you're awakening, or when you're not, you know, let's just say when you're identified with your ego, you have conditions on yourself to fulfill, to achieve something outside of you to make you then feel whole. But it's the opposite. When you shift into being whole and complete, just by being yourself, living in the present moment, and feeling the peace of who you are, you don't need anything because you're at peace. And specifically, you don't need anyone because you're at peace, but you're also open to people. You're just kind, courteous, or you know, or whatever is natural for you. I mean, that's how it is for me. I just tried to be open, and it's that great saying by Rumi. I think the quote was, "Love isn't about seeking something outside of you. It's about seeing the barriers within yourself that are preventing it from flourishing," or something like that, or preventing you from receiving it. And that's all it is, guys, you know. And lust feeds into this false sense of needing to be a certain way. And when you let go of that, that's so freeing. So let me know if you guys want me to talk more about this. I love talking about this because this is something I actually went through on my spiritual journey, I guess you could call it. And I think this video can help people realize that beyond your form, beyond your job, your income, your business, your looks, your status, all of that stuff, guys, it's not who you are in your essence. Because in your presence, you're perfect as you are in each given moment. And that's what I'm trying to convey.